what's up, Scumball Brother Imagination Creation Films, and today we're talking about these, the new Aputure Infinity Bar lighting system, and they're totally tubular. Not. So we're going to talk about these new lights in just a moment, but before I do, a little housekeeping. Aputure did send these lights to me for review, but as always, they have no input whatsoever in my review, and no money has changed hands, so yep, you're going to get an honest review from me. I don't know why I always add that line in there because, well, you're always going to get honesty from me. Why do I put that in there? Oh, yeah. Subscribe. It's a segue thing. Yeah. So years ago, I was talking to Aputure about a light design that would allow lights to wrap around corners, bend, and adjust to various lighting conditions and, well, the challenges therein. And this is not at all like the design that I described. It's better. Way better. Now, I call these a lighting system because, well, you'll see in a moment. These are called the Aputure Infinity Bars, and they're not a tube light. They're Aputure's take on what an RGB WDW tube light should be, and it's centered around what most people are using them for anyway. And then they've added a few solutions to problems like I mentioned before. Now, I have no idea if they used my thoughts or had this in the works for years before, and I honestly don't care. I need the solutions, and boy, do these solve some problems and, well, allow some creativity that, well, you've only dreamed of. So the lights, they come in a 1 foot, 2 foot, and 4 foot lengths and are 7.5, 14, and 27 watts respectively. And don't let the output wattage fool you. These lights are emitting in mostly one direction, so the output is quite incredible. And, well, the Infinity Bars also include a frequency selection adjustment to match high-speed shooting, and that basically allows you to reduce flicker or eliminate flicker completely, depending on the frame rate and the shutter speed that you're shooting. They also have built-in batteries that are 2,000, 4,000, and 8,000 milliamp hours respectively. And the lights can be configured so that they can operate in up to 8 hours, so you can basically tell it, I want to run these for 8 hours, and it will limit the max output for that purpose. It's kind of like on some of their other fixtures when you put the fan in low mode or off, and they limit the output power. Basically the same thing. The lights are only IP20 rated, so don't leave them in the weather because you're not going to be happy. And they come with a very nice carrying case, but it's only designed for the one light. Now, optional soft boxes and 45-degree grids are available. They look cool. I have not played with them. I didn't get those for review, but totally fine. These lights have 24, 48, and 96 mappable pixels each, respectively, and are, well, built like a tank. That does show up in the weight, though. They are 1.3 pounds, 2.5, and 4.6 pounds for the 4-footer. Well, the design, it's quite unique in that they mostly emit from the front and a little from the side, similar to how Samsung phones wrap around their screens just slightly. And there's about a 120-degree beam angle. Doing this, doing this, they allow the lights to almost merge together into one large seamless light when you link them. This is right here. You can see there's a seam right there between the two 2-footers. And as soon as you go up to like 2%, it just disappears. You cannot see the seams between them here other than the color change. This is at 0.2%. Back to linking, it's something else that they do really well. Now they include a straight linking adapter, which you can use to make one continuous length of light, or you can angle them 90 degrees or even 180 degrees like this right here. And then they offer 10 brackets in total to allow you to build other configurations. And, well, those brackets are straight, triangle flat, triangle 3D, hexagon flat, hexagon 3D, 3-way flat, 4-way flat, 6-way flat, square flat, and square 3D. Now I have the square 3D here, and you can do some really cool things with it. I was using it for a complicated motion control sequence that I've been working on for the past couple of weeks, where I'm recreating the intro to Gone in 60 Seconds. And having these lights in the square 3D config allowed me to quickly control the lighting on the mini set to have the light coming from, well, any direction and with any color, as it does in the movie intro. And here you can see the time lapse, the variety of the shots I was getting, and, well, that video will be out in just a few days, so stand by. These lights were incredibly bright, and as you know, when you're shooting close up at macro, you need to shoot at higher T-stops so your depth of field isn't like razor thin. And with these Infinity bars, I was able to shoot at T8. They were incredible. And it's also great to work with the CitusApp link, to be able to just fire up a couple of LEDs here and a couple here, and then here, a different color here, to get that directional light that you want. Now, obviously, the output's going to suffer when you are just illuminating a few LEDs, but the control is fantastic. And, of course, you can animate with the Citus Link, kind of like the beautiful little rainbow here. And you can also really control and command the lights to do what you want with all the mappable pixels using the Citus Link app as well, and their sequencing function. It's a thing. Now, there's a bunch of other things to consider with these adapters and configurations. Now, imagine passing your light around your subject while your camera moves over it. Tremendous sci-fi potential as well. Just think of the intro, Star Wars ship landing. I'm not really sure why they have the square flat adapter as the straight adapter. You can easily create a square perfectly and seamlessly when you butt it up. I don't know. I'm sure someone in the comments can tell me, and I'll be like, oh. Yeah. The rest of them, though, they're really cool. And just think about the catch lights you can create in people's eyes with these. Just having a geometric shape in the eyes, it's got to be wild. The other nice thing about these adapters is the power linking. When you connect two lights together, you share the power. So depending on your use case, you don't need to use an adapter per fixture. Aputure says one adapter per 4-foot lights and one adapter for two 2-foot lights, and then I'm guessing one adapter for 4 1-foot lights. Now in my testing, if I was using a single color like red, green, or blue, or a version thereof, only 2 adapters, power adapters, would provide enough power for the 2 4s and the 2 2s here. But when I was using white, I needed to add a 3rd adapter. Now, fortunately, there are plugs on the side as well at the end, so you can plug in wherever you need. Now, the negative to these brackets are the 4 to 6 Allen screws that you have to use and tighten. And it does make for a solid connection, but it's going to take some time and it's going to build some wrist muscles to link them. Now, for mounting, there are also strong neodymium magnets on the back that are removable and kind of fun to play with. And there's also a clever baby pin clamp that you can slide on without tools and lock it in. It makes setup a breeze and a really solid mount to the stand. In that time lapse, I just had 2 on either end. That way I could pivot the whole rig. It was awesome. The lights have diffusion over the LEDs, so it's relatively soft to begin with. And well, it's also great for not seeing a bunch of colored dots show up and cast strange shadows. I'm so glad we're over that. Now, you can control with Citus Link and Lumen Radio built in, and DMX is available through an optional USB adapter. Now, pricing and configuration options, they aren't inexpensive, but they are worth it. $299 for the 1-foot, $479 for the 2-foot, and $639 for the 4-foot, respectively, in US dollars. And they do have some 8-light kits available. There's an 8-light 2-foot kit for $48.50 and an 8-light 4-foot kit for $63.50. Yeah, it's a serious chunk of change, but I imagine you'll be able to make your money back pretty quickly with this since they're so versatile and bright, useful. Yeah. There's honestly so much I could talk about with these lights, but I'm trying to keep my video shorter. People have been complaining about the 20+ minute videos, so sorry. I'll just talk a little faster. And I didn't. So what are the pros and cons of these Infinity bars? Cons. They're a little heavy, and that weight adds up fast. The power bricks are kind of a love-hate, because now you got to find a place to mount them and Velcro them and store them out of the way. They do have a 10-foot cord on the DC side, and then I think a 6 or 10-foot cord on the AC side. Another con is the price. They do come at a premium, but I've said it before, buy once, cry once. These are going to last a while. Pros? Seriously bright, like that's 100%. They are very, very seriously bright. Trying to get them to a respectable level. There, well, that's 1% right there. Another pro, they are built like tanks to take the everyday abuse and, well, you're going to experience. I mean, you're not going to be able to just throw them in the back. You need to keep them in their cases, but they're going to last quite a while. They are really built well. The power sharing and linking are fantastic. There's no limit to a secure, solid shape of a light with these Infinity bars. Technically, there's a limit, but it's a big limit. So what do you think of these lights? Are you going to add them to your kit, or do they not measure up to what you need? Let me know in the comment section down below. I truly am interested. Also, stay tuned for a review of Amaran's new S series of their COB lights. That should be up in a day or two, and everything is just a little bit better than before. It's going to be a good review. And remember to become a channel member and support the channel. There are lots of tutorials and reviews coming, and NAB is right around the corner, so it's a great time to join the community. And, as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life, let your life center around your passions.